What I want to talk about for the new people that don't know all the history of North Georgia GMRS, and I'm not going to dive into the entire scope and story, but I'd like to at least bring you up to date on a few things. My wife and I, Diana, and one other founder, Racy Popple was his name, the three of us decided in 2007 we were going to start this organization and put up a repeater. From 2007 to 2016, we accepted donations only. I was working, I was in the communications field, I had play money, it wasn't an issue. But back then, we had a half a dozen or so repeaters up and running. Our operating costs for cutting the grass and paying bills and insurance and all that was running around $3,000 to $4,000 a year. We never saw donations in excess of $2,800 a year. So I'd come out of pocket all these years. Of course, we bought all the equipment ourselves and put it all in and built it up. In 2017, we formed the paid membership structure, which you basically know today. Our membership growth has been incredible. We are 15 years strong in this operation and providing communications for families across the entire state of Georgia, southern Tennessee, parts of Alabama. Did somebody once say, build it, they will come? Who said that? Trust me, my wife along the way would say to me, why are you spending all this money and all this time and all this labor? And I told her, and it's on my bio on the website, if what we're doing saves one person's life, it'll be worth all of it. We have, I believe, 4 occurrences where folks have been saved from a heart attack. The only means of communications they had was their GMRS radio, and somebody answered their call for help and called an ambulance. Our Cades Cove repeater, which is not linked into our system yet, but we're working on it, has been involved with multiple in the middle of winter rescues of hikers that have gotten lost in the mountains. So we're very happy that that's been there and working. I'm trying to read through stuff, not to bore you. Okay, so kind of give you perspective of the numbers. In 2007, we had 21 members, 6 amateur operators, 43 assigned unit members. When we reorganized in 2017, we had 121 members, 61 amateurs, 385 unit members. Our growth has been steady, but here recently, due to what's going on in our society today, people are taking a much different approach and look at communications, primarily alternative means of communications. When we started this, we never thought about that. We never thought that that would be a necessity. We just wanted to be able to provide communications for families and be able to talk to each other. At the end of 2021, we had 646 members, 259 amateur radio operators, and 1,071 unit numbers were issued. As we transitioned from last year into this year, we did lose a few members, but currently as of midnight last night, we have 537 members, 219 amateurs, and 906 unit numbers assigned. That growth is phenomenal. Through the years, we continue to add new repeater sites, such as Columbus, Zebulon, Crawford, Watkinsville, Noonan, Moreland, and McDonough. Recently adding Flagship, Blue Ridge, Rome, East Brainerd, and within the next few weeks, Lula will be coming online. And an update on that, the tower crew that we've been patiently waiting on is coming home today. And they've already been in touch with me, so we probably are going to be delivering the heliacs for Lula, and up there is the antenna and the rafters for Lula, and we'll be eagerly awaiting them to start installing it. Primarily, the reason why we have chosen not to do that tower is because there is an FM radio station on that tower, and I don't want to expose anybody to RF radiation because it's, I think, a 10,000 watt transmitter, if I'm not mistaken. We are looking at the possibility of adding 2 more sites in Chattanooga, Cleveland, Tennessee area also. Future expansion later this year may lead to a new site in Griffin, Georgia. We've been invited to come down and install a repeater site on the hospital on their tower. So we're waiting for that to happen. So let's talk a little bit about this little GMRS repeater called Flagship. How many of you talked on that repeater? Raise your hands. Very good. Jeff Crowell, you have not talked on the Flagship repeater? Going to have to help you out. As hoped, this site has become our premier GMRS flagship site. Our coverage is remarkable, and we hope to improve on that later this year. A very large LPG generator was installed last summer. This now provides us with generator backup power for all systems at the site. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to the Smith family for making that happen. And at this time, I want to say thank you. And to my knowledge, we have witnessed that generator backing up that site through these past few months, at least 9 times, I believe, maybe more. CV maybe more, but at least 9 times. That kept the repeater running, it kept everything working, and we didn't drop anything. We have on the board upgrades, improvements, and monitored security that we want to do at the site. Further, we plan to cut a new driveway into the site, install a road gate, and install perimeter 8-foot fencing around the compound. Security is important to us. We have recognized that this site is our premier site. It's a site we want to protect, we want to take care of, and we want to ensure that it doesn't succumb to any ill will. We haven't had that problem in the past, but you just never know. Shortly, we'll be installing the new Tempest weather station so we can monitor the site during rough weather. The reason I chose the Tempest weather station, I've had an AccuRite 5-in-1 weather station for years. I love it, it's great. But the flagship site offers a lot of challenges for anything that moves. You've seen the pictures, the tower ices up. We recently had a chunk of ice fall off of the tower and it landed on the metal roof, which was covering our generator, and put about a 9-inch gash in the roof. We've had Pete Siebel can tell you. Pete, where are you at? He's over here flying the drone. Mr. Pete. Pete's a historian for that site, and if you have any questions about that site, he was one of the original people that helped construct the tower some 30 years ago. But we're grateful for that. So the Tempest has no moving parts. Looks like a great big upside down QT cup. But one of the things I like about it, other than all the different aspects and monitors, it also provides lightning detection. So we are able to monitor that through an internet connection. It pops up on our phones, and we're eventually going to make that available on our website to where you can get the weather station information from the site up there. So I'm anxious to see what kind of winds we see through this year. Our friend Gary Ownsby is providing a 2-meter APRS station for Flagship. This will allow ham radio operators who turn on their APRS tracking to obtain extended coverage that the site will offer. Gary's done some studies, and from what I understand, that area up there is lacking in APRS coverage, so we're excited to bring that online, and we'll probably be installing that next month. I thank Gary for his help and support on that. We are eagerly awaiting our Starlink satellite internet service. This will allow us to integrate our weather station, cameras, alarm system, and linking systems all under one internet provider. Right now, we currently have a cellular modem that is at the site on AT&T, and our data package costs us over $150 a month just to be able to give us enough data to handle all the links basically that's all, the Blue Ridge link and the flagship link. So we're excited about that. We'll have increased upload and download speed, and we'll be able to do a lot more at the site and make you folks able to see more things going on. Last but not least, to some of you who will be interested in this, we are looking at remodeling the interior of the site and adding a climate-controlled room. It's our hopes to install amateur HF radio gear and begin to do HF contesting from on top of the mountain. So this will be something when we finish that, we'll announce it. I don't know of you amateur operators here if you've been involved in any true HF contesting during a given period of time. It's a lot of fun, it's challenging, and to provide an area where we can go. CV has offered to bring his camper up, because the facilities are none at the site. They have the camper, a place to sleep, place to go to the bathroom, a place to eat, and refresh yourself, because usually that's a weekend-long thing, 24 hours a day through the weekend. So you need the ability. So we're looking at doing that, something nice. It'll also give us a meeting room to have when we need to have meetings about different things going on. I get a lot of questions all the time about how does the organization run, what does it cost? So I've got here, you might be thinking, why spend all that money up there? Well, let's think about that a minute. Site security is a key to protecting such an investment that North Georgia GMRS is providing. Prevention of burglary, theft, and criminal damaging is not only costly, but expensive to recover from, not to mention the repeater downtime they would encounter. All these improvements will cost a large sum of funding, to say the least. That is why I'm going to propose in the very near future that we conduct a 50-50 gun raffle. How many folks are familiar with gun raffles that organizations have? Okay. I'm the president of the BGMRC, Bill Grimion Memorial Radio Club in Coweta County. It's our amateur radio club. And when we were doing fundraising for replacing repeaters, we held such a 50-50 raffle, and it was very successful, very successful. 50% of the raffle will go into the North Georgia GMRS bank account, and the other 50% will be split between first, second, and third place winners. It's our hope that the money raised will cover the much-needed security improvements. So we'll be looking for that to come about. We've got to get permits. We've got to get that taken care of with the county. We're going to do it in. We've got to get the tickets printed, and then we'll start the sale, and we'll work out a way to where we can probably put sectors of tickets in different regions and have somebody responsible for meeting you folks, collecting the money, giving you the ticket, and making that a success. I certainly don't expect you to come all over the meeting for that, too. Speaking of money, what are the guesses as to what our annual operating budget will be for this year? Any guesses? Go ahead.
Okay.
Close. Real close. Our budget for this year comes to $42,068 to run the organization, keep everything running. And I'll be very transparent. I'm going to read to you the totals on the line items that represents. Our insurance cost is $500 a year. Legal and professional fees at $1,200. Advertising, $1,200. Equipment recoup, $6,000. Postage, $800. Office supplies, $1,000. Utilities, $1,500. The flagship lease, $2,400. The Blue Ridge lease, $600. Supplies and equipment, $2,000. Travel, $300. I got to get a free trip somewhere, which is almost impossible to do when you have a nonprofit incorporation. They just don't let you do that. Deductible meals, $500. Maintenance lease, $18,000. Other expenses, $200. Verizon Cellular, $1,248. These are yearly amounts. Charter Spectrum Cable, $720. Voltar server support, that's our VPN service known as Core 1 and Core 2. That costs us $300 a year. Mobility data plan for the modem I was speaking of, that's $1,800 a year. and we are anticipating our Starlink service that will run us $1,800 a year. Those are the primary financial line items that we submit on our tax return, and that's what we're projecting this year. Obviously, when Starlink kicks in, we will drop the mobility $1,800, so that'll be a wash, so that'll work out. I assure you, I am very frugal with our money. I do not spend it unless I have to, and if I can repair something before I replace it, I'll certainly do that as well to try and save us money. You know, taking on the different systems we've had and the linking that we're doing costs a lot of money. Costs a lot to build, costs a lot to keep it up and running and going. And we couldn't do this without the help of many folks in the organization that provide hosting for linking radios, for different aspects of what we do, and we're very appreciative of that. At this time, the membership funding looks real good. We have a lot of the leases we've already paid for the year, and we have money in the bank to cover our expenses. So I'm very hopeful that we will be in good shape and we'll ride out the year very well. Just a couple more comments before we go into our Q&A session. Are you using our Zello app? Starting this year, it's now available to all current members. Email me and I will get you set up. How many in here are not using Zello yet in the room? Okay, it's a great feature. It's a simple app that goes on your phone. I'll send you instructions on how to do that. It turns your iPad or your smartphone into a two-way radio, and you can connect into our network and talk to all the members on it. They can talk to you as long as you have an internet connection or Wi-Fi. A lot of folks go out of town on vacation or on business, and they're checking in. You'll hear that. And it's a great service and it works very well, so I'm eager to help anybody out. I want to talk a little bit about radio etiquette. Some folks know that my hot button on this network is CB lingo. Like anybody else in here, I came out of the CB world in the 60s. I loved it. I thought it was my segue into communications. But I also watched it go to hell in a handbag. And it was devastating. And I made a decision that I was not going to allow our network to turn into a CB wannabe repeater network. So you'll hear me get a little bit ugly about breaker, good buddy, things like that. So all I'm asking as far as etiquette goes, plain talk. No codes, no CB lingo. Think of it this way, talk on the radio just like you would while speaking to your family at the dinner table. Yeah, you don't have to say, oh, I'm on the side, 10-4, you know, that kind of stuff. Just talk. That's all you got to do. There's nobody expecting codes. There's nothing there. So like I said, no breaker, good buddy, or 10-10 on the side, and you'll be fine. My biggest statement that I want to make is it's GMRS. It's not CB. Let's protect it. Let's respect it. Preserve it. And most of all, set the standard for fellow users to follow. Our MOU is in place for a reason, and we will enforce it if we need to. I'm sure I've left something out, but I will be happy to answer any questions as they come up. Again, thank you for coming today, supporting what we do, and enjoying the fellowship around us. Let's give another warm round of applause to the entire Smith family for this. Okay. I promise you, when I get the first or second question, I won't say goodnight. I can't talk, I can't answer. I'll take them as they come. Who has the first question for me? Anybody?
How does CB shut up the chickens over there?